You're watching UnrealEntGaming. This is Beerus, the god of destruction. Make sure you subscribe to UnrealEntGaming and push the like button for me, or else I'll Hakai you from existence.
Oh, and do make sure to watch the entire video all the way through. And to follow UnrealEntGaming on both Instagram and Twitter.
Whis, enough. On to the video.
With Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter number 69 now officially in the history books, the story of Granolah the Survivor continues following Whis' training with Goku and seeing how powerful Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku was, only to later find out that there is still much for Goku to learn before having to reach Whis' level, as even with Vegeta having to overhear that Beerus could possibly help him, Vegeta is persistent in finding out how, but when going back to Granolah and learning that he wants to become the strongest in order to destroy both Frieza and the Saiyans, the question going forward is, will Granolah's wish come true in finally becoming the strongest to get his revenge, and how far is Granolah truly willing to go in order to see his plan through? As once more before we begin, if you are new to this channel and have a love and passion for all things Dragon Ball and anime related, then make sure to go on ahead and smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications by clicking on the bell icon to never miss a single upload on this channel, as well as giving this video a big thumbs up by smashing that like button down below if you guys are loving the direction of the Dragon Ball Super manga and cannot wait to see this be animated within the actual anime itself. And if of course you guys want to catch up and check out all the best from the Dragon Ball Super manga, then you guys can go on ahead and check out the official Dragon Ball Super manga playlist located down in the description box below, to where there you guys will be able to find all the latest and best from the actual Dragon Ball Super manga. So if you want to catch up and find out more information on what's been going on, then be sure to go on ahead and check out that playlist located down below. As we kick off Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter number 69 entitled The Succession of Planet Sorel, with Granolah having to be shown making his way back down onto his home planet, and as he does, we get to see how there are these cities that are protected by these massive dome barriers as Granolah begins to descend on down, which further goes on to indicate that his planet has in fact been repaired and restored following the events of Frieza's invasion and having to send the Saiyans on down and wiping out the Sorelian people, with Granolah shown having to enter one of the barriers and having to descend his ship on down. It's interesting to see how civilization is still thriving on this once dead planet, and with Granolah having to be shown stepping on out, he is then greeted by one of the sugar people as he went along to tell Granolah, "Welcome back, Granolah," with Granolah asking, "Can you fix up the left wing of my ship? It took some damage." "Of course," says the individual. "When do you expect to depart again? I won't have any jobs for a while, so take your time." "Okay, please try to get some time off yourself." "Yeah, that's the plan," Granolah says, and I absolutely love how Granolah is shown having to walk through this mall, and as he gets to one of the shop owners, he then goes on to point out by telling him that. "And that too. Oh, and some of your top shelf water, please." "You got it," says the store owner. "How's the old guy doing these days?" "He doesn't come into town much anymore," with Granolah responding, "His leg's been giving him some trouble, but otherwise he's fine." "I see," says the owner. "He's over 500 years old, though his people have long lifespans, so it's not too surprising. Why do you two live on that far-off mountain instead of around here with us? We Shigarians would welcome you with open arms," with Granolah responding, "Nah, sorry, but this city wouldn't suit us. See ya." "Hang on," says the owner. "Here, an extra bottle on the house," and with Granolah accepting, the store owner responds, "Give my regards to the old guy." But Granolah doesn't say a thing, but instead, we then go on to see how Granolah is walking this one lonely trail up the mountain to his house, and as he did, Oatmeal went on to contact Granolah by asking, "Say Granolah, why don't you live amongst the Shigarians?" with Granolah responding, "That city was set up for them by the Heeters. It's not meant for me." "But was this not once the planet of the Sorelians?" says Oatmeal. "Sure, 40 long years ago, after our planet was ravaged by Frieza's army, the Heeter swooped in and started rebuilding, which of course they did. As Granolah then continues, the Shugarians had lost their own planet and were roaming through space at the time, so they paid well for this planet. This place became their home, so we decided to move to the mountain. I see, says Oatmeal, necessary distancing in pursuit of amenable cohabitation. Something like that, says Granolah. Plus, and as he then turns around, he then overlooks the entire city and he's beginning to get flashbacks of what once was, as Granolah then comments, I can see my hometown from the top of the mountain. The one Frieza's people destroyed. It's a reminder of what they did to my planet. That way, I'll never forget. And we get to see through Granolah's perspective how his city was in fact ravaged by the great apes, and that's all Granolah seems to think about is the fact that these Saiyans had came down onto his planet and destroyed everything courtesy of Frieza. But then when going back to Beerus and Vegeta, we get to see how Beerus is pointing out in the distance by telling Vegeta, how many planets have you Saiyans destroyed? And with Vegeta questioning this, he then responds, hard to say, fighting was once the only way of life for my people. So we had a way of racking up sin after sin. Sin, Beerus says, huh? However, it wasn't until Frieza's clan came along and began using us that the destruction and invasion became business as usual. You trying to lay all the blame for your wicked ways on Frieza and his people, asks Beerus. Not in the least, Vegeta replies. In his pursuit of power, my father built his own kingdom on top of countless deaths. Frieza's clan taking over didn't help, but the seeds of the Saiyans' destruction were sown before that. So, Beerus says, it was the Saiyans' destiny to be wiped out then. I'd say so, Vegeta responds. Huh, ridiculous, Beerus responds. But never mind that. My people's problems aren't your concern. And that's when Beerus swoops in by telling Vegeta, I'm saying it's ridiculous. What? What do you mean, says Vegeta? Weren't you going to show me a technique used by the gods of destruction? What could that possibly have to do with the history of the Saiyans? Plenty, Beerus says, as he went along to point behind him. Without any warning, Beerus ends up firing this one singular blast directly at one of the planets nearby, and the minute the blast makes contact, he ends up destroying this world and shocking Goku, shocking Vegeta, as all the while Beerus went on to smirk as this was going down, and with this planet shown exploding right in front of everyone's face, the Oracle Fish is then shown having to be knocked out of its glass, and I absolutely love how the fish is flopping on the ground. He's trying his best to get back in the bowl, and the Oracle Fish is panicking, and as he gets back inside the bowl, he uses somewhat of magic to take all of the water that was spilled and be placed back inside of the little cup, and with the Oracle Fish sticking his head out, he then went on to comment, that was too far, Beerus! You just destroyed another decorative planet! With Whis chiming in, honestly, at this rate if he keeps destroying things, we'll be fresh out of planets before you know it. Whoa, Goku says. Lord Beerus is not someone to mess with, as Vegeta asks, was that the technique? With Beerus responding, that was just a small glimpse of what I can do. How can I acquire such power? But then, Beerus went along to shut Vegeta up by grabbing him by the face, and as he did, he quickly followed through by slamming Vegeta's head directly down on the ground, and with Beerus pressing down on Vegeta's face, Vegeta went along to ask, what's the meaning of this? With Beerus responding, as long as doubt weighs down on your soul, this power will never be yours to wield. Doubt, you say? Your own crimes aside, you're feeling guilty for the sins of all Saiyans. That's awfully self-centered of you, mortal. And with Vegeta overhearing this, Beerus then quickly wasted little time by then flinging Vegeta across the field and onto a tree, and the second Vegeta hits the tree and he proceeds to fall down before standing back up, Beerus then went along to tell him, here's a fun fact. The one who suggested that Frieza eliminate the Saiyans was me. What, Vegeta says? Still think it was destiny? You're just gonna accept that? Go on, try me. I'll obliterate you too. And Vegeta is pissed as he goes on to comment, you utter scum! As Vegeta then erupts in a massive fit of rage, Goku went on to ask, Vegeta, what's he up to? Because remember, this is what Beerus wanted to get out of Vegeta from the get-go, and with Vegeta then powering up and using Super Saiyan Blue Evolution, because of course this is Super Saiyan Blue Evolution, you can see that based on the accordance of when Vegeta fought Jiren and had done the same thing against Moro, which Gohan even went on to confirm that this was the same form used during the events of the Tournament of Power. So what other form did Vegeta achieve during the Tournament of Power, you may ask? Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. So Vegeta this time around, by comparison to his first battle against Beerus on his planet prior to the tournament, goes into Super Saiyan Blue Evolution, and interestingly enough, you can see the grin on Beerus' face, because Beerus isn't shook, Beerus isn't scared, but instead, he welcomes this, and as Vegeta goes on to charge on in, he winds up leaning his hand back, as of course he's planning on making contact, and as he does, Vegeta attempted to strike Beerus from below, sort of like an uppercut kind of maneuver, but in typical Beerus fashion, he went on to stop Vegeta's punch by having to block it, and as he did, Vegeta attempted to use his speed to his advantage by trying his best to get behind Beerus, and as he did, just like he had attempted to punch Beerus, what he tried this time was to kick him, and as he tried to, the very second we see how Vegeta goes on to kick Beerus, Beerus with such finesse went on to leap on up, and without even acknowledging him, he went on to just completely evade Vegeta's attacks, and as he did, he countered him, and he countered him by going on to literally stomp down on Vegeta's face, and as he did, it's very evident now that Beerus is clearly not taking Vegeta serious in the slightest because of his demeanor, his overall approach. Despite Vegeta having to go through the entirety of the Tournament of Power, despite Vegeta having to face off against Broly, despite Vegeta having to fight different incarnations of Moro, he had grown leaps and bounds in power, only to now have the current God of Destruction still be able to hold the upper hand against him, and as Vegeta is shown flying away, he didn't give up, but instead, he ended up firing multiple energy blasts directly at Beerus, but Beerus, having to take notice of this, quickly went on to defend himself as Vegeta maintained balance, and as soon as he didn't waste any more time, because he ended up dashing right towards Beerus, and as he did, he attempted to double axe handle him, only for him to strike at nothing because Beerus by that point had already vanished, and with Vegeta taking notice of this, he was shocked, but then out of nowhere, Beerus came stomping on down, once again, not even physically touching Vegeta by using his hands, but by simply having to stomp down on him is what Beerus did, and as he did with Beerus having to literally stand right on top of Vegeta by pinning him down, he then went along to address Vegeta by telling him everything those Saiyans did in the past. What's it got to do with you now? As long as you're trapped by the past, you'll never manage to grow past this point. But Vegeta's clearly had enough, because from there, he attempted to backhand Beerus only for Beerus to leap on out of the way, and that's when Vegeta once again went on the attack by doing everything he could to strike Beerus, but in typical Beerus fashion, he's not giving Vegeta any leverage, because each and every single time Vegeta is attempting to make contact, Beerus is ducking, dodging, and avoiding all of Vegeta's attacks. So clearly here, despite Vegeta's best efforts, everything he's attempting to do is effortless. Even while using his best transformation, nothing seems to be working, until Beerus ended up grabbing onto Vegeta's right arm as he then proceeded to put his hand over Vegeta's stomach. Beerus then went along to tell Vegeta, destruction, and it was because of this one single blast that it ended up hitting Vegeta directly in the stomach, and as it did, it literally blows Vegeta away, so much so that even Goku is shocked, because the only thing that we get to see from Whis and Goku's point of view is Vegeta's carcass just flying across the field, and as Vegeta hits the ground, he's back down in his base form, he lost, there's a giant hole near where his armor was, and with Goku overseeing this, he then went on to comment, Lord Beerus' signature move, huh? I kinda messed up that time I tried copying it, with Whis responding, it still has that much power even though he tweaked it so that only Vegeta's armor was destroyed. It's not quite a power that's easily mastered, so just in case you guys are kind of wondering what Goku's talking about, the closest thing that Goku is referencing at this point is the time where he attempted to use the Hakai on Merge Zamasu in the future, only for Merge Zamasu to grab Mai in front of him to shield himself from Goku's actual Hakai, disintegrating Zamasu in the future timeline. So as we get to see Beerus approaching Vegeta's crater, he then went on to tell him, my mind's always on destruction, and nothing else. That's why there's no limit to my power. Listen, if you really want this power, you're gonna have to destroy any strained thoughts and recreate yourself from scratch. Before creation comes destruction. Get it? And that's when Vegeta got it, because Lord Beerus is telling Vegeta that he has to recreate himself from scratch, and he's going to have to always think about destruction if he ever hopes on reaching the next level. And as we only then go back to the Heeter clan, we get to see how Maki went on to comment, bingo! Check it out, Elect! And as they then get to oversee how Sagambo and his previous crew had interrogated and pressed Zuno, that's when Maki continues, this hunk of junk must have visited Zuno at one point. Jot down the coordinates, Oil says Elect. Got it. So, the Galactic Patrol was waiting to ambush Sagambo and his gang of idiots, huh? As we then get to see how MERUS was also shown, Elect goes on to comment, right. The Galactic Patrol's got jurisdiction over that whole sector. Makes sense that we're never able to find Zuno. Anyway, let's go grill old Zuno for intel that'll lead to a payday for us, says Maki. Hold on. What are we seeing here? As Oil comments, the convicts in the Galactic prison were all freed at once? How'd that even happen? As one of Elect's minions goes on to comment, according to OG73I's data, Moro used the power of something called Dragon Balls to release the prisoners. Dragon Balls, Elect says? What are those? Wishing balls created by the Namekians that can grant any wish. Any wish at all, says Elect? Yes. Moro also used them to regain his magic powers. I see. It's all adding up now. This could explain some of the strange stuff that's been going on in the universe. Decent chance it was these Dragon Balls that revived Frieza too. As Oil comments, so these balls are just out there? Just somewhere? Heh, says Elect. This guy delivered us some intel way more valuable than Zuno's location. Namekians, huh, says Maki? Why does that sound so familiar? I've heard about them somewhere. With Gas chiming in, the Namekians were a tribe that used to live on planet Sorel. Right, Maki says. Those green dudes who shared that planet with the Sorelians. But wouldn't that mean that they're extinct now too, says Oil? Not quite. I just remembered. There was a lone survivor. An old fart named Monito. Monito, says Maki? And it just so happens he lives with our pal Granolah. And as we then go back to planet Sorel, we see how Granolah then walks into his house as he goes on to tell the Elder, I got some water for you. And this Elder just so happens to be a Namekian named Monito, as he went along to respond, you're always so good to me, Granolah. How's work going? Profitable, says Granolah, if anything else. That's so. Good to hear. And your friend at the shop says hi. Even gave us an extra bottle. Huh. Haven't dropped by in a good while, says the Elder. Those Shugarians sure do treat us kindly. They probably feel a little bad about moving to our planet when we were here first, says Granolah. Well, they shouldn't, says the Elder. I've got no complaints about our life here. And with Granolah shown slowly eating cereal, ironically, he then responds, yeah, I guess so. Are you heading out again right away? Got more jobs lined up, says the Elder? No. I've got some time off. Frieza somehow come back to life. Frieza, you say? Did I hear that right? Yeah, says Granolah. That's why everyone's laying low for now. Which means no jobs for me. Which I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting heavy Zamasu and Gowasu vibes here, as it only then continues. Well, ain't that the way, says the Elder. So them Heeters haven't put a bounty on Frieza's head yet? I don't think so, says Granolah. Even the Heeters aren't exactly eager to mess with Frieza's army. I see. But whether there's money in it or not, I'll be the one to take Frieza down and his goons. Don't even try it, says the Elder. You know you don't have the power to tangle with Frieza. And with Granolah awfully quiet, he then responds, power. In that case, I might have to resort to that. And as they both look on over, there is a small Dragon Ball that's placed near the shelf, with the Elder responding, no. The Dragon Balls ain't for taking revenge. Yeah, I know, says Granolah. Moot point anyway, since I'd need the second one to make a wish. Darn right, says the Elder. It's been lost for 40 years. Likely never been seen again. And with Granolah picking up the Dragon Ball, he then comments, I'd have to search this entire planet for a tiny ball just like this one. Listen, Granolah, says the Elder. The Dragon Balls began as a part of our ritual to celebrate brave Namekian warriors. They're not meant to fulfill any old selfish desire. And with Granolah awfully quiet, we then go back to Planet Namek, in which we get to see how Mori is teaching the young Namekian children, and as he does, he went along to inform them, "Today, you are going to learn more about the Dragon Balls. Sets of Dragon Balls vary in size and number depending on who created them. On our planet, each village holder holds one of the balls, but originally, the wishes were meant as rewards for bold warriors who sought out the Dragon Balls in times of great suffering." As one of the kids ask, "Do other planets have Dragon Balls too?" "It's certainly possible," Mori says, "on planets where our kind reside. Like Earth." "You mean Dende's Dragon Balls?" says Asuka. "Right." "Do our people live on any other planets?" "Most likely, though we don't possibly know all of them. You see, we Namekians moved to this universe from another realm altogether. And I've heard that some settled in places far from planet Namek." "What happened to those Namekians?" says the kids. "I wouldn't know. They may yet live. Or perhaps they were wiped out ages ago." And as we then go back to Granolah and Monito, Monito went on to comment, "A couple of dozen Namekians used to live here on planet Sorel, but now it's just me. When I pass, that's it. The end. Kaput. The Dragon Ball's with me." But what if I find the other ball, and I wish for our planet to be restored the way it was 50 years ago? With Monito responding, "Then what of the well-meaning Shugarians who settled here? Would you kick them off their newfound home?" With Granolah responding, "Then Frieza and his army have to be eliminated. Like I said, revenge ain't the way. That only gives rise to new enemies. And then what?" "Fine," says Granolah. "You're right. Give up on the Dragon Ball," says the Elder, "and enjoy the lot that you've been handed in life. I'd better get some sleep. You should turn in early too." "Yeah," says Granolah, and with everyone shown sleeping, it's interesting to see how Granolah is watching TV and he keeps sitting down and staring at this Dragon Ball, as only then on the TV we get to see the sugar people, they're laughing, they're dancing, and Granolah is so hyper-focused on this one Dragon Ball until the TV went along to report, "You are listening to Sugar Toast Love, and now the news. A local boy was hunting for bugs in the mountains when he discovered a strange ball in the clearance." And with Granolah sitting on up in shock, it then continues, "It's an orange crystal of some sort with a 2-star shaped marking on the side." And Granolah loses his shit because he actually found out right then and there that this was the Dragon Ball that he just so desperately needed. As it then continues, specialists at the Institute say that it's possible the ball did not originate from planet Sorel and are currently conducting research. And Granolah did not waste any more time, because what he ended up doing was he ended up going incognito, Assassin's Creed style, in basically having to cover his face and search the city for the Dragon Ball. He was creeping his way around, which I thought was pretty cool, to try and find this thing. And as he did, he finally found out where the Dragon Ball was. And with time really not being on Granolah's side, as he noticed the scientists leaving, he then went on to make his move as of course the alarm sounded, and as quickly as he came in, he bounced. He was out of there. He got what he needed, and as he is shown walking up the mountain, Oatmeal went on to contact Granolah by telling him, "Hey Granolah, are you going to ignore the old man's warnings?" "It'll be fine," says Oatmeal. "I've got a plan." And with Granolah laying down the Dragon Balls, he then went on to comment, "There we go. The Elder told me to use the spell to summon the dragon, right? Remind me of how it goes?" "Yes, of course," says Oatmeal. Summoning time, and with Granolah having to chant the exact enchantments that he needed in order for this dragon to be summoned, that's exactly what he does. And normally we get to see how there is a massive light that overtakes everything, but instead this time, the light seems to be a tad bit smaller, but what ends up coming out of this thing is a brand new dragon, and this dragon kind of looks like Super Shenron in a way, but although he kind of also resembles that of a fish dragon-like monster, he looks really cool. And this is the first time that A, Granolah had ever used the Dragon Balls, and B, ever had the opportunity to make a wish. As he went along to comment, You're the wish-granting dragon? You who have collected the 2 Dragon Balls. State your wish. If it's within my power, your single wish is my command." "Any wish?" says Granolah. As Oatmeal chimes in, "You need not to state your wish in his language. I want to be the strongest. Turn me into the greatest warrior in the universe, as only then Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter number 69 then comes to a close. Now, it would only now appear that the Oracle Fish's premonition on there being a bad omen is finally now going to come into fruition, and because of this, Granolah had finally gathered 2 Dragon Balls, not 7, but 2 out of a brand new set to go on and make this wish selfishly, even against Monito's wishes in reminding Granolah not to act on revenge, but Granolah wants his revenge after finding out that Frieza is alive, and after later learning about remnants of other Saiyans that just so happen to also dwell within the universe currently. The question going forward is, has Granolah now finally become the strongest in Universe 7, which in the comment section below, on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the absolute worst and 5 being the absolute best, I want to get your thoughts on what you guys would rate this manga chapter from 1 to 5, which I do also want to get your thoughts in the comment section below involving the overall battle with Beerus and Vegeta, because it now looks as though we finally have answers to 2 very important questions, that being number 1, the technique that Beerus was alluding to this entire time was in fact Hakai, and the second being that he finally went out of his way to reveal to Vegeta that the reason why Frieza had destroyed planet Vegeta was under the order of Beerus telling him to do so. So I think that it was great to finally have clarity and for them to kind of go back and dabble within the previous lore of Dragon Ball Super, but in the comment section below, I want to get your thoughts on 3 specific things. Number 1, with Granolah going out of his way to make this wish, is he actually going to become the strongest in Universe 7, which just so happens to include being stronger than Broly, being stronger than Moro, who once was, being stronger than Vegeta, being stronger than Beerus, and also being stronger than MUI Goku? Is this in fact going to become a reality for Granolah in making this wish, in superseding all of them? Number 2, with Beerus alluding that this technique requires one to rid their minds and only think about destruction, what does this mean for Vegeta? Is he in fact going to rid himself of all of his emotions in taking up the moniker of before creation comes destruction? Will he in fact actually be able to learn Hakai and possess that of destructive energy and having to finally place Vegeta above Goku? And lastly, what do you think the overall premise is going to be involving the Heeters and OG-73? Are they in fact going to somehow be able to extract all of the information out of them for their own use, or is the wish that Granolah is currently making right now going to backfire and Granolah is simply going to learn more about OG-73 in being able to go back and steal him for himself to later become the strongest? So again, I want to hear what you guys have to say down in the comment section below. The next manga chapter will be available on March 19th, so make sure you guys tune back in to find out what's going to happen. So again, thank you all so much for watching. If of course you guys are new to the channel and absolutely love Dragon Ball and anime, then I do encourage you guys to smash that subscribe button, click the bell icon to never miss a single upload video on the channel, and give this video a big fat like by slapping that thumbs up button down below if you guys are simply stoked, ready, and excited not only to find out what's going to happen in Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter number 70, but also can't wait to see what this is actually going to look like once of course Toei Animation goes through with animating this, only because there is so much material for them to cover with the Moro arc, with the Granolah arc, presumably if they want to retell the Broly movie. So this is actually picking so many pieces back up from the Galactic Patrol Prisoner arc that I can't wait to see what's going to unfold. So again, thank you all so much for watching, thank you all so much for your time, tune back in for more, and I'll be seeing each and every single one of you guys down in the comment section below. Have a great day everybody, and take care. Peace. And a quick little reminder before you exit the video, if you guys are unaware, follow me on my secondary channels, which are also used to discuss and talk about all kinds of different subjects and topics, including gaming and live streams, beginning with Unreal Network, which is a channel dedicated in discussing all kinds of movies, breakdowns, current events, scary stories, theories, and more. So if you are someone who is into the entertainment world, then that's the channel for you. So head on over and subscribe over on Unreal Network, which up next is Unreal Vlogs, where I bring you guys a little closer into my life in taking you behind the scenes with vlogging content, parody videos, reactions, motivational videos, uplifting videos, and more. So if you want to get to know me on more of a personal level, then that's the channel for you. Hit that subscribe button to always be in the loop with Unreal Vlogs. And lastly, my gaming channel, Unreal Royale, where on that channel we dive more into the world of gaming, ranging from all different kinds of video games, from Dragon Ball to Resident Evil to Grand Theft Auto, Halo, Gears of War, Minecraft, all kinds of horror games, shooters, RPGs, and more, including live streams. So if you're a gamer and are into the gaming world, then smash that subscribe button over at Unreal Royale and experience the ride with me. I want to thank you all so much for your time, thank you all so very much for your support, and I'll be seeing each and every single one of you in the next video.
This is the Galactic Emperor of the Universe, and of course I'm here to tell you to subscribe to UnrealEntGaming.
Also follow UnrealEntGaming on these social media platforms to stay connected at all times. And if you don't, then very soon you will all be dead. Oh, did someone say UnrealEntGaming? Oh my god.
The fuck's up? On, put on some clothes!
Well, why don't you put on any clothes?
What? I don't need clothes. Jesus Christ, that's huge! What, Broly?
Frieza.
Uh-oh.
Prepare to die!
But once you get video, lots of likes, or Bill will turn you into chocolate! Vados, get over here! Tell these mortals that I'm the biggest UnrealEntGaming fan. This is my moment. I'm a part of his notification squad. Universe 7 can have all the fun. I just want the food.
And don't forget to leave a comment on this video. Show some love for the best community on YouTube.
Kakarot!